Hey guys, it's Ben, coach of the Baltimore Oriolus, here with UBC playoffs. We're taking on Horus, the guy who we got in playoffs by beating Nader week 10. I'm going to say this right now. Horus is one of the slowest draft league players in existence, so we are 1,000,000% going to be post-comping this game. He was playing Build a couple weeks ago, and that game, it was like 3 minutes per turn. It was insane. So we're going to try to avoid an hour and a half long video. So, Horus' team consists of Blacephalon, Mega Venusaur, Orlando T, which he got in a trade for Umbreon. Great friggin' trade there. Komodo, Starmie, Zoroark, Electros, Slurpuff, Aerodactyl, Steelix, and Articuno. Let's hop right into our team. First Mon, Latios. Can't not bring it. This Mon underwent a lot of changes in the sets. At first I had, what was it? Soldew and Draco Meteor, Psychic, Surf, Recover. Then I changed that to Calm Mind over Recover, or not over Recover, Calm Mind over Surf, and Dragon Pulse over Draco Meteor. Now we're running Scarf because I don't want something like Zoroark or Blacephalon to be able to pick me off. We've got Icy Wind there because Slurpuff bodies my team. This Latios set will outspeed Adamant Slurpuff. Jolly would be autistic. He could potentially bring that to outspeed Scarf Latios, but hopefully he's not that smart. Actually, it was Bronson who built the team. Bronson's retarded. We should be fine. So yeah, if he's Adamant Slurpuff, Icy Wind will slow it down and put it into Scarf Drill's speed range. We'll get to that in a minute. And that's what the set is for. Next up, we got the MVP from Week 10. Mega Kangaskhan is coming back. Fake Out, Return, Power Up Punch, Sucker Punch. I initially had Earthquake instead of Fake Out, but I needed more damage on something like Belly Dome Slurpuff in case that came. This is like a last resort check to that. You never know if it might come in handy. Return, Power Up Punch, Sucker Punch. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about those. Sucker Punch there for like Blacephalon. I wanted an Earthquake in case Blacephalon had something like Will-O-Wisp and to hit Steelix altogether. But Drew says that Fake Out would be smarter, so we're gonna trust Daddy Drewbert. Next up, we got Torrentee. Titanium Z Focus Blast is the most powerful way I can hit the Electros. I can also knock off its Assault Vest on the Switch. And I've noticed that Horus doesn't Thunderbolt on flying types. He U-turns out because the Switch is so obvious. So I'm going to take full advantage of that in the game and play aggressively. Next up, we got Excadrill. Like I said, another Scarfer. We'll be able to outspeed Slurpuff after the Icy Wind drop. Rock Slide is there in case the game comes down to something like Blacephalon and Aerodactyl and I need to click a move to hit both of them. Stealth Rocks are very important against a team with weaknesses like Blacephalon, Articuno, stuff like that. Mold Breaker allows me to actually hit the Electros for super effective damage with Earthquake, so that's cool. I can also outspeed a +1 Komodo with this speed. Next up, we got Rotom Heat because I need a Lando check. This defensive investment allows me to live 2 Stone Edges from Adamant Lando. No, Jolly Lando. 2 Stone Edge from Jolly Lando. I can switch in on Lando, assuming rocks aren't up. If you click Stone Edge, cool, we're fine. We can Will-O-Wisp it and live the next Stone Edge, barring a crit. If he Swords Dances on the Switch, we double into Drill, scouting for the Continental Crush. If you click Stone Edge, we double right back out into Rotom Heat on the Earthquake. We know that he doesn't have Continental Crush, so then we can Will-O-Wisp on the next turn on the +2 Stone Edge, which we can live thanks to the Shardy Berry. We've got Defog in case the hazards start to get kind of stupid. Pain Slider for Sustain, Volt Switch for Momentum. Lastly, we got a Suicune set. Initially, I was defensive with Calm Mind Substitute, Scald, and Air Slash. Then I found out the Air Slash was an event-only move, so I'd have to run Relax Nature, which isn't the end of the world, but I needed the speed for the Venusaur. I wanted to outspeed a Venusaur, creeping a non-speed Drill, just in case he wanted to creep that for some reason. So, I had Extrasensory instead of Air Slash, but then Drew suggested that I change it to an offensive Suicune set and less defensive. Because apparently offensive trashes his team or something. I don't know. I've never used speed invested Suicune, but we're going to use it this time. We can outspeed Adamant Landorus with Max Speed Timid. We speed tie the Komodo. We outspeed Venusaur for sure. And with the Calm Mind boost, Extrasensory allows us to 1v1 most Mega Venusaur sets. He should be bringing fully physically defensive for my Azumarill, which is on the bench, not bringing this week. And we got Surf there for extra damage because I don't want to miss a Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump doesn't have a lot of PP anyway, so that could get a little spoopy. And we don't have Scald because Scald is gay on offensive sets, apparently. We want Surf, apparently. So, that is the team. This is actually my 4th time in playoffs, I think. Because I haven't really been in a lot of leagues. There was UPA Season 5, I made playoffs there. Made it to semis after beating Mence in round 1, but then I lost to Michael in semis. made it to playoffs in UPA Season 7, lost to Mence Round 1. Made it to playoffs in P4J, lost to Drew in Round 1, which was also semifinals. So, I haven't really made it very far in playoffs before. I mean, if you count GOT, which I don't really count it because that was a tournament, not a league, but I did win that. I won my semis game, which is the first time I've ever done anything like that. And I won the finals there as well, so that's the only thing I have championship related. Let's see if we can change that in UBC this season. If we win this game, we play Omega Jolteon in semis, and we'll see how that goes. So, thank you guys for watching the team builder. Like I said, I'm going to be post-comming the game, so Tuesday Ben out, and Thursday Ben. We'll see you in a second. And with the magic of editing, 2 days have passed. Well, more like 1.5 days, but regardless, Thursday Ben is here, Thursday Ben is now. Let's hop right into this. So Horus does bring the Mega Venusaur, Electros, Lando T, Starmie, Steelix, and the Slurpuff. Not too surprising. I'm a little bit surprised not to see the Zoroark and the Blacephalon, but I mean, if you can only bring 6 Pokemon, it's the 6 he brought aren't. They've got a pretty good matchup, so it's not too surprising. So I choose to lead Suicune against his Eel. Suicune is my lead to cover the potential Landers or Steelix leads, as Rocks do have a pretty good matchup against my team, and I don't want him getting them up early. So I know he's not going to click Thunderbolt. He's probably going to click U-turn, but in the off chance he clicks Knockoff, I am going to sub up here because Suicune without lefties is pretty useless. So he does indeed U-turn out into the Venusaur. So this is fine. We can start setting up at Calm Minds, and we can 1v1 this thing. So I'm going to Calm Mind here, and he's going to click Sludge Bomb and break my sub because I'm not bulking Suicune. So now I decide to set up another Calm Mind, and here's why. If I am at +2, if I'm on +1, Extra Sensory is doing like about half. So 2 Extra Sensories wouldn't kill because of his Giga Drain sustain. It would be a 2 KO if I was at +2. So Calm Minding here seemed like a no drawback play, except that he reveals the Power Whip. So all of a sudden we're at low health, and I don't really have a choice but to click Extra Sensory, or I can switch out. But I mean, I don't really have anything to recover up on, so I'm going to sack Suicune here turn 4, which sucks. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Now I sent it in Tornadus, and that is a misplay. As soon as I sent it in, I realized that I can't touch this thing. I mean, I can kill it with Hurricane, but I kind of have to land that. And if he goes into Electros, then I just lose momentum. So, I stand by my play here. I click Knockoff, and here's why. If he stays in, he can recover up with Synthesis, he can Leech Seed me, he can use Power Whip, he can Sludge Bomb. Those are the moves that were coming to my mind, and if he recovered up, I can just Hurricane on the next turn. If he went for Leech Seed, I could U-turn out on his, I would assume, Electros. And if he went for the offensive move, Knockoff plus U-turn should be able to kill. So the Knockoff play here seemed fine, except that he has the Sleep Powder. This really comes back to bite me in the butt later. So the proper play there was to go into Excadrill instead of Tornadus, click Iron Head, finish that off, and then go into Rotom as planned on the Landorus. So I'm going to stay in here and take this Sludge Bomb to the face. It's not pretty. Trying to blow a turn of sleep there. Now I'm going to send an Excadrill on the Sludge Bomb, get some Regenerator health back. So trying to heal my wounds a little bit. I'm going to click Iron Head, finish off the Venusaur. This play is Landorus 100%. My play is Rotom 100%. I do indeed make the play, and he makes the read and click Stone Edge. That's fine. This is going right as planned. So here I make another bit of a misplay. The way I saw it, I see no reason for him not to switch out into Starmie. Starmie is so free for him. If I click HP Ice, he just goes into Starmie. If I click Will-O-Wisp, Starmie doesn't care. If I click Overheat, he just got so much momentum. No matter what I click, he gets momentum. So knowing that Starmie was such an obvious play, I click Volt Switch on a ground type. So now I'm going to scout for the Continental Crush and go into Drill, as he just clicks Stone Edge again, so he has no Continental Crush. So I'll switch right back out into Rotom on the Earthquake, also scouting for Tectonic Rage, as he doesn't have that either. So now I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp. Fortunately, no crits here with the Stone Edge, and fortunately we land the Will-O-Wisp, so all is right with the world. So we're going to sack Rotom here, and we are going to go into Kangaskhan, and get some extra damage with the Fake Out and the Burn stuff. Because we don't have Ice Punch. So he's going to get chipped down a bit here, which is nice. A little surprised he didn't switch into Steelix, but I mean, it makes enough sense. It's at +2. Doesn't want to waste that. So Return is going to put it in burn range, as Earthquake does nothing. So Kangaskhan is going to be able to kill the Lando, even though the kill actually goes to Rotom. So now he's going to go into Steelix. I'm going to go into Torn T on what I would assume was going to be either Rocks or Gyro Ball. I take a lot from that. So I'm going to go into Drill on the next Heavy Slam. and I'm going to go right back out in Tornadoes on the Earthquake, trying to recover up and stay out of Heavy Slam range. However, the Heavy Slam from before did 57.9%. I calculated it recently. That is an absolute min roll. So I'm still asleep, and the Heavy Slam is going to be able to finish me off. So that misplay with going into Torrent on Venusaur earlier really came back to haunt me. So I'm going to go for the Surf here with Latios. I choose to go into Latios over anything else because I realized that if I sent in Drill, I wasn't going to kill him. He could just kill me back. Kangaskhan can't do anything to this thing, so Latios was really the only thing I could send in. So we're going to seriously chip this thing down. He's going to take the heavy... He's going to click Heavy Slam on me. And now he's going to pull the switch into Eel. He doesn't want to sack this thing yet. So now, enter Mama Kang. He's going to U-turn out, and he's going to go into Steelix. He took 5 minutes after that U-turn play. Like I said, Horus is a very slow player. The game itself lasted like an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. Fun. So he took 5 minutes on that play, and the entire time I was thinking, if he goes Steelix, I win the game. Well, boys, he went Steelix, and we are at +1. And now he goes into Slurpuff. Return, bops it. We ran the calcs afterwards, and Slurpuff... Okay, so with the first hit from Return from Mega Kang at +1, it does about 88 to 104 on that Slurpuff. So that was a pretty high roll. And had I not gotten that kill, he would have popped his Citrus Berry, then Baby Kang wouldn't have been able to finish it off. But Drain Punch also wouldn't have killed me. So Sucker Punch would have killed it on the next turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's just that he would have chipped me down more. And he would have made a different play in a couple of turns. Let me explain. So he's going to go into Starmie, hoping I don't have Sucker Punch. I do have Sucker Punch, so that's going to drop. And now he's going to go into Eel, which surprisingly can live a return. So had he gone into that, let's just suppose I got a lower roll on Slurpuff. I would have revealed that I had Sucker Punch. And he could have gone into Eel after that, lived the return, then Thunderbolted me and killed me. Then I could have gone into Excadrill, killed the Eel with EQ, and then done a lot of damage to the Starmie with Earthquake, as he was Life Orb, not Scarf. And his Life Orb at recoil after the Earthquake would have definitely put it in Latios range, so Latios would have picked up the final kill, and I would have won 1-0 anyway. We do live the Thunderbolt here from the Eel, and we finish it off with Return. So, boys, that's the game. We win our first we win a playoff game for the first time since, I think, August 2016, which is kind of absurd. And we are advancing to semifinals once again. I have never gotten past semifinals in a league before. We'll see if we can change that. We'll be taking on my good pal Omega Jolteon and the Chicago Caracostas. And actually, during this game, I was on a call with some friends. I had them all muted because I couldn't deafen myself without muting myself as well. So I had them all muted, but Nick recorded my reaction to winning that game. So here it is now. I will see you in semis, Omega! And yeah, like I mentioned, we will be playing Omega Jolteon in semifinals. So that ought to be a good game. So thank you guys for watching this. And I actually, before I go, I do want to say, Drew sets don't work for me. Defensive Suicune would have put in a lot more work than offensive, and it just didn't. I didn't use it well. Drew sets work for Drew. Ben sets work for Ben. Drew, stop building with me, please. Thank you. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week for UBC Season 6 semifinals.